Welcome back, guys. Sorry my video time was starting to run short. I can only record 10 minutes at a time on Seesaw. So we just finished up in the rounding to the 10th place. We're going to do the 100th place and the 1000th place now. Before we get started, I'm going to show you the place value chart one more time. If you look, there's your decimal. Anything behind your decimal is less than a whole number. Anything in front of the decimal is a whole number. So we have our tenths, our hundredths, and our thousandths. We just finished rounding in our tenths place. We are now going to round in our hundredths place. That is 2 decimal places. So I only have 2 of those. The first one is 5 and 697 thousandths. I've already underlined my hundredth place and put my arrow pointing towards my next door. So this number is 5 or more. This number is going to be 5 or more, so it will raise my score. Remember, it raises it by 1. Now, if I raise this by 1, that makes it into a 10. So just like we did before with the 10th place, this one is going to have to carry over. Put my 0 down here, and I'll have to carry my 1 above my 6. So let me do that real fast. Okay. So that's going to make that 6 equal 7. And then the rest of the number will be wrote down. So my answer to this one would be 5 and 7 tenths or 5 and 70 hundredths. My next problem is 31 and 784 thousandths. So I've already underlined my hundredths place. It's the second decimal place. 1, 2. It's an 8. I went next door. It is a 4. So remember our rule. 4 or less, you let it rest at the same number. So my answer to this one will be 31 and 78 hundredths. Okay. All right, now we're going to round to the nearest thousandths. So I'm going to pull my place value chart back up. Remember your thousandths place. That is 1, 2, 3 decimal places. Okay, so I have not underlined this one, so I'm going to have to find it. This one is 58 and 6,781 10,000ths. Made a pretty big number for you. All right, so my thousandths place would be this 8 right here. And I'm going to go next door, and next door there is a 1. So that means that this is going to rest. It's going to stay at itself. So the answer would be 58 and 678 thousandths. 58 and 678 thousandths. Okay, my last problem I have on rounding is 21 and 1,817 10,000ths. Another big number. I did that on purpose so you had something to round. So remember my thousandths place is 1, 2, 3. And I'll go next door, and it is a 7. So that means it's 5 or more. I need to raise my score. I raise it by 1. So this answer will be 21 and 182 thousandths. Now remember what I said before in the other video. If you cannot confidently look next door to round your number, you can always use a number line. That is another way to solve these types of problems. So we're finished with rounding now. We're going to talk about place value and putting it in expanded form. There was a lot of this on Khan Academy when we were working today, and I had a lot of kids get confused when they saw it. So this is an example of an expanded form using place value. So this is 748 and 16 thousandths. So we're breaking it apart in one number at a time. We take the 7. It is in the hundredths place. So I did 7 times 100. Took the 4. It is in the tens place. 4 times 10. And then the 8 is in the ones place. So it would be 8 times 1. That is my whole number right there. Since I have nothing in my tenths place, I will not put anything down here for that. But we do have a 1 that's sitting in our hundredths place. So we do 1 times 1 100th. Okay, and the last one is a 6, and 6 is in our thousandth place. So 6 times 1,000th. It looks super complicated, but it's really not as bad as it looks. So we're going to work a few of these out. I've got 2. The first number is 146 and 986 thousandths. So we're going to put this in expanded form. That 1 is sitting in the hundredths place. So I'm going to do 1 times 100. Okay. The next number is a 4, and it is sitting in your tens place. So that would be 4 times 10. All right. The next number is a 6, and it is in the ones place. So that would be 6 times 1. And you will not be using 2 lines like I do. I just have a big marker, and I'm writing very large. All right. My next number in my entire number is a 9, but that's not just an ordinary 9. That is a 9/10. I'm going to pull this back out. Place value. Number right past the decimal is my tenth. And I keep pulling this out like you always have it. You do. This is in your math journal. We all wrote this down. If you ever need it, pull it out. It's very handy little, It's very handy to have anytime you're working on anything with place value. All right, so that's a 9, and it's sitting in the 10th spot. So I'm not just going to write 9 times 10 because that's not what it is. I'm going to write 9 times 1/10. Then move to my next number. That's 8, and the 8 is sitting in the hundredth spot. Hundredths in the next number. So that's going to be 8 times 1/100th. I'm writing too large. And my last number in this problem is a 6, and that 6 is sitting in my thousandth spot. Thousandths. So I'm going to write 6 times 1/1000th. Okay. I wrote really large on this one. So we had our 1 in our hundredth spot. Our 4 is in our 10th spot. Our 6 is in the 1 spot. Our 9 in the 10th spot. 8 in the hundredth spot. And our 6 is in the thousandth spot. I'm going to do one more. This one's a little bit bigger. It's 7,898 and 651 thousandths. So we're going to start with that first number. It's a 7. That 7 is sitting in the thousandth spot. So we're going to put 7 times 1,000. Then we're going to look at the next number. It's an 8. The 8 is in the hundredth spot. So we do 8 times 100. The 9 is in the 10 spot. So it would be 9 times 10. I'm going to run out of space on this one. The 8 is in the 1 spot, so it would be 8 times 1. The next number is a 6, and it is now, we're past the decimal, so it's one number past the decimal is the 10th spot, so that's 6 times 1/10. And the next one is a 5, and that 5 is in the hundredth spot. So that's going to be 5 times 1/100. Right, and the last number is a 1, and that 1 is sitting in the thousandth. So it'd be 1 times 1,000. All right, and that's the expanded form. I'm going to help you with this because I know that's a hard concept. If you ever come across a number that has, say it was 705. When we wrote that, we would do 7 times 100 and 5 times 1. We wouldn't have to do anything for the tens because there's nothing there. But I hope this was helpful, and I know y'all are all going to do wonderful on anything that I do. I hope y'all have a great night. Bye.